everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a new unit. We're going to be focusing on 7.3.1, expressions and equations. Don't forget to add your name and the date. So for our essential question, we are going to try to explain how to write equivalent expressions using the math properties, commutative, associative. I know there's a comma here. We're going to be talking about distributive, but that's not today. It's a different day. So let's get started. So some different mathematical properties that allow us to simplify our expressions in an easier way are going to be commutative and associative. So let's get started with those. So the first one, the commutative property. This is a property that says we can go between either direction and it's going to be the same. So in this example, it says the commuting distance is the same in either direction, from home to school or school to home. So if we went from school to home, it's going to be the same as going from home to school. Or looking at it in a different way, A plus B is equal to B plus A with addition. Or with multiplication, A times B is the same as B times A. So for this example, it would be 4 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 4, right? Because 4 plus 5 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9. With multiplication, 15 times 2 is 30, and 2 times 15 is also 30. That's shown down here. Take a minute and write these equivalent expressions using the commutative property. Remember, it's just saying from one way to the other. So hopefully you got 3 plus 4 is the same as 4 plus 3, and they both equal 7. 5 times 6 is the same as 6 times 5. They both equal 30. So this property is useful when we want to change the order of something or make the math a little bit easier. So for this example, I'm going to use the commutative property to move the 15s closer to each other. So I'm going to rewrite this as 15 plus 15 plus 29. Now I can see that 15 plus 15 is 30, and all I have to do is add the second piece of 29. In an example using multiplication to make this math a little bit easier, I'm going to switch the 9 and the 10. So my new expression is going to be 6 times 9 times 10. So now I can think about what 6 times 9 is, which is 54, and then times 10, which is 540. So the commutative property is also really nice when we have variables. And when I say variables, I mean we have a variable next to the number, so 2x and 5x. So we're actually going to rearrange this so it's a little bit easier to read. So we're just going to rewrite it as 2x plus 5x plus 6. Again, that commutative property. So now we can see that the 2x and the 5x can be added together to get 7x, and then the 6 just stands by itself. So that also goes for when you have two values that don't have a variable attached to them, aka this 8 and this 4. So I'm going to rewrite that so my non-variables are next to each other. So we have 8 plus 4 plus 3x. So since I was able to rearrange that, 8 plus 4 is 11 plus 3x. See, it's a little bit easier to look at. Let's move on to the associative property. So like the associative property, like the commutative property, we're able to move things around, but the associative property just uses parentheses. So notice down here it says the property allows us to change the order to make it easier, like the commutative, but with parentheses. So what I mean by that is with addition, you can have A plus, in parentheses, B plus C, or A plus B, parentheses, plus C. But in multiplication, it's a little bit different. You can either have A times BC, parentheses. So these are together and the a is by itself. Or you can move the parentheses to next to a and b. So a times b times c. So let's practice that. So let's turn them into a different expression using the associative property. So we have 3 plus parentheses 7 plus 6. So I'm going to move the parentheses to now say 3 plus 7. So I'm going to write 3 plus 7 plus 6. I'm going to erase these parentheses. So that makes it a little bit easier to see, right? So then we can see 3 plus 7 is 10, 10 plus 6, 16. So let's do that with the multiplication. Let's move the parentheses here and here. So we'll rewrite that as 5 times 2, parentheses, times 6. So 5 times 2 is 10, times 6. 10 times 6 is 60. These properties are really nice when you are trying to create 5s or 10s.